Hi, Ryan Michael Galloway here with We Don't Need No Stinking RecordCompany.com, and I'm also with C. Aaron Moore, Chris Moore, a degreed filmmaker and somebody who's helped me a lot with my videos and done a fantastic job, so I can vouch for him. You know, you can find him out on Facebook, I'm sure, if you need to hire somebody who's good at this stuff, and I will tag him when I post it so you can find him. And you might, get deluged. We should all have such problems. But anyway,
in this economy.
So we've talked about pre-production.
Yes.
So let's talk about production. What goes on in production? Just the basic definition. If we can talk about some other stuff about it, but what's production?
Production is essentially where everything that you've been doing in pre-production happens. It's where you're shooting. This is where you go face what some refer to as the war. You're in there. It's like if pre-production was preparing for battle, production is the battle, and then of course post is the aftermath. But and you want a really good aftermath. So if you've done all your planning in pre-production, and I was going to mention this in last night's post, but the thing that you really want to look out for in your pre-production is avoiding the traps that you can run into in production, where you can plan as good as you want in pre-production, you know what you want, you know what shots you want to get, you know what you want to say.
Location, lighting, personnel, all the budget, all that stuff.
How to say it, yeah, and then things can go wrong. Because if anything, one of the first things you learn in film is that it's about controlling the uncontrollable.
Yes, now I was going to bring that up. Because when we go into the studio, Chris is also a musician, by the way, and excellent keyboard player and singer and that kind of stuff, and we've recorded together some. Down in Dave Williams' studio in Houston, as a matter of fact, the Vault. But at any rate, so one of the things that happens in the studio that you guys might recognize is that you occasionally have some happy accidents. Things happen, you go, ooh, I didn't plan that, but let's keep that.
Yeah. Is
there room for that kind of thing in the filmmaking process, where you go, I didn't plan this shot, but I see it now and I want to get it, and I'm going to insert it right here?
Well, you have to ask yourself, what kind of filmmaker are you? Are you a James Cameron, Marty Scorsese type, or are you the kind of filmmaker? And no disrespect to those filmmakers at all, but you've heard about the tyrannical director who wants everything a specific way. It's got to be this shot, this lighting, this crew. Very diva-like sometimes, and it can be that way in music too, as I'm sure you've seen.
I have never been like. You're not saying that.
No. I mean, like you've probably seen some people as you've educated them.
Oh yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Wasn't talking about But no, the thing is that the more restrictive and I've run into this myself. It's a hard lesson that every filmmaker learns, is that the more restrictive you are and the less open you are to having something else. Taking an element that might be different and absorbing it into what you're trying to do. The less that you do that, the more things are going to get more frustrating for you, and the less comfortable an experience you're going to have. And let's say you're directing this for some other group that doesn't want to be involved in any filmmaking, the kind of indie band that knows nothing about that planning but is trusting you to do it.
Like me, as
exactly.
An example.
And when you came to me for Gifts Are Words and for all the other videos we did, you were trusting me.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was like I won't go into like any of the business aspects of it so much, but you were trusting me. You made sort of a verbal
contract,
sort of a friend contract, if you will, so that you were in that contract. I'm skipping over my words. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
In that contract, you were trusting me to make sure that the experience was, we were going to get to the point we wanted to get across. And for me, it's so much more than that. It's like not making you look like a fool on the camera, making
That's hard.
And making sure you look good, making sure the song's message doesn't get destroyed by what we tried to make.
Right.
And making sure I'm covering all the variables. And you hear in interviews about actors and producers and directors about coming to the production and saying, that they're prepared. And what prepared means is that you know what you want, but you're prepared to take all those other variables, make sure it's a comfortable experience. The best filmmakers are playful with it. Like they're not even afraid of those variables, but they welcome that. Like Spielberg's a great example. On the day choose different things. So let's try to get this or that.
You walk in with a plan, but then you allow some other elements to come in. I kind of do that in the studio, actually, is what I try to do, because I'm using a lot of other players, and I can tell them exactly what to play.
Right.
But then I lose their creativity if I do that.
Well, all right, and let's look at that from the perspective of the word play. I mean, everything that you do in art, I mean, you have a play, for example, a stage play, or a screenplay, or when you play an instrument, or...
Play can really be part of that.
Play is very much a word that's very much centralized with everything that we do in media. It's very much about finding the play so that you're not just entertaining the masses, you're also entertaining yourself. The whole of the experience in general for production, it's not always going to be a comfortable one. It can be very arduous. But if it's going to be that arduous, don't make it 10 times so. You know what you want. Go in there. Hopefully if you're in pre-production, you've shot your footage, you got what you needed, everything's collected, and you have hopefully some, you know, you'll be looking back at what you shot when you get to post-production. We'll talk in a minute about that, but hopefully you'll be looking at it and like, oh, that was great. You know, my favorite moments in Give Us Our Words is looking back at some of the things we shot on the day, how good the lighting was, and that was a testament to your skills in photography, but the composition, the moments, and I remember on the day, because most musicians aren't by trade actors. They might be. Some of them may have that little, you know, hammy nature like you and I about that. And so, but it was interesting at the moment, so it's like, we took like one line, I remember asking you to, you know, have a certain expression on your face. Because our video wasn't so much thematically driven, it was more of a performance video.
Right.
You recording in the studio.
Yeah.
And at those moments, how do you make it less than just, you know, somebody singing a song?
Because we do have to act a little bit.
A little bit, because everybody's seen this kind of video before, so the smallest to the biggest things can change those factors. So getting you to, you know, have this memory in your mind, like this expression in your face, like remembering a moment when you're singing a
Let's talk a little bit about that in the next post.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So I am Ryan Michael Galloway. I'm with C. Aaron Moore, and I'm also with We Don't Need No Stinking Record Company.com. Come on back tomorrow night. Thanks.